Annabelle. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me, Ben. It's great to be here.
I'm keen to start to hear a little bit about your journey and how you've sort of ended up in the space that you're in and where you're at today.
Sure. Yeah, no, good question. I'm a country girl. I grew up on a sheep and cattle farm in rural New South Wales, and I studied at arts law at Sydney Uni. And it was halfway through my law degree that I guess I was struggling to find purpose in the law, struggling to work out how I was going to be able to use it to do something that made me both passionate and proud. So I decided to take 6 months off uni, and I signed up to volunteer to teach English to children over in Kenya. And when I got over to Kenya, halfway through that trip, Kenya erupted into civil war and I was evacuated across the border into Uganda. So then I had to roll my sleeves up and figure out what to do. There was no organised volunteer program with the organisation that I'd volunteered with in Kenya in Uganda. So I guess I just started to have a look around and just to seek to understand better how I could possibly contribute and make a difference. And I guess my biggest learning from that trip was just how, the education system really needed so much support over in rural Uganda. It's a country that is the same size as Australia's state of Victoria, only it's got a population of 43 million people, so very densely populated country. 50% of the population is aged under 14 and only 56% of kids complete primary school. So I was just blown away by those stats, but then also more so, I guess, from the experience, which was really, my experience was to find these little kids who were walking between 5 and 10 kilometres every morning to get to this mud hut that they call school. And they were doing so with a smile on their face. They turn up to a classroom that had no desks, no books, no pens, no pencils, very often no teacher even. But they do so with this determination and resilience because they recognise just how important education is to help them to break free from the cycle of poverty. And it was really those experiences that led me to found School for Life.
Wow. And tell us a bit about since kicking off, how did it all start? Where did you start in terms of like what did it look like and how has that evolved over time?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I was 21 at the time, so very young. I'd met my co-founder over in Kenya on that trip, and together we were very, very passionate about education. So we put our heads together. Obviously, two minds are better than one. And we started to build out a business plan. We started to surround ourselves by some advisors. We pulled together a board of directors. We applied for our charitable fundraising licenses and registered a business. And then, of course, we needed to start to fundraise. So that was a tricky process. It's really tough to get credibility when you're 21 years old, as you can imagine. I would sort of roll in, and pull down the P plates off my car wearing a suit that I borrowed from my mum and ask, Gail Kelly to give me a check. So lots of wild moments and, of course, a lot of no's because a lot of people, they were saying to me, you're crazy. Come back to me when you've grown up. Come back to me when you finish your law degree. Don't come back to me at all, as if you're going to be able to pull this sort of a challenge off. So, look, there was a lot that went behind it and I guess a lot of tenacity and, also fueled in a lot of ways by naivety and passion because we truly believed that we could make a difference and we were very, very focused on the kids and the impact that we wanted to achieve over in Uganda. So we never lost sight of that.
Yeah, sometimes that naivety is helpful when faced with
something helpful.
That has so many challenges.
I actually attribute a lot of the success to that naivety because often when you don't know, you can't fear, right? Risk is very much, about the knowns and what might happen. We didn't know what we didn't know, and so we just went for it. And we were so bold in going for our dreams. And I think that was a really, really pivotal part of getting School for Life off